How did I watch a multimillionaire go broke? This is an up close and personal story that I witnessed with my own eyes, and it's just mind blowing. So what happens is, I had a very good friend, right? And I was in school at the time. I was in college. And I had a very good friend, and she said, and I wasn't working, and I was really struggling. I was a single parent, and it was really hard for me to get through. Student loans wasn't doing it, and I had no help. And my friend, she was like, you know what? By coincidence, God sent. She and her family are foreign. They were from another country. And they had a very good friend of theirs that they knew that was recently divorced, and she really needed some help, just every day. They said that I was a very loving person, and that they could trust me with her because she was rich, and they could trust me with her. And they was like, here, we think that we could trust you with her. You wouldn't steal from her. You wouldn't take from her. You would comfort her and love her, and all she really needs is love. And that's just really who I am as a person. So I was like, okay, that's fine. And they said, so we want you to go over and meet her and see if it hits off, but I'm sure that it will. So they didn't tell me all the details of what was going on with her. They just said that she needed love and that they didn't want to trust her with anybody, but they knew they could trust me. And I was like, okay, I'll go. And I needed money. I needed, something flexible and something that could help me pay my bills while I was in school. So my first meeting with her, they gave me her phone number. I called her, and she sounded really kind of groggy on the phone and a little sad. And so she was like, okay, come to my house and we'll have a meeting. And so the first day I went to her house, I'm taking my twist out because I got somewhere to go. The first day I went to her house, when I got there, she had a tissue in her hand. She had on dark glasses. She let me in through the garage. She trusted me automatically because she knew my friend. And my friends and her parents have been friends for many, many years. They're from the same country, which I will not devour her ethnicity or her age or her race. So I'm not going to do that. But they were from the same culture. And so in their culture, it was not good for a woman to be alone, right? They needed to be married young, and if they were divorced, they wanted to find another way for them not to be alone. So they really put me on as a companion. So it started off that way. So when I got to, first of all, let me roll back. So when I go up to this place where she lives, when I pull up, it's like this country club apartment, country club place that I'd never even seen a country club. Like, I've seen a country club, but I thought like a golf club. I didn't know, but it was actually a place where people live that have mansions. And in this country club, a lot of famous people live there that you guys would know if I called them out. However, I ain't gonna call them out. So when I go through, I have to go through the security gate. So I go through the security gate and they're like, who you here to see? And I'm like, da-da-da. I show my ID. I sign the thing. They let me in. So I'm riding through here and I'm looking at these mansions. They're like houses I've never seen up close before in my life. Big 2-part houses with the river and the lake behind them. They own river and lake. And so I'm like, dang, like this lady, what's she doing up? Like, this is getting kind of spooky to be this close to a rich person. So, not saying anything about rich people, but it's kind of spooky when you've been broke all your life and then you run up on something like this. You don't even know how to understand it, right? I'm looking at the time because I get only 10 minutes. So I finally pull up to her house. I don't know the neighborhood or anything. And it's this huge white house. It looks like a castle. I'm like, wow. So I call her on the phone and she's like, go to the garage, pull up in the driveway and I'll let you in the garage. So I go into the garage, and sitting in the garage is a Porsche. It's a Porsche with the 2 tops that come off in the garage. And I'm looking at the car and it was like pearl, like a pearl white kind of color with a camel, color interior. And so I'm like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, I'm blowed. And so I go through, she comes to the door and she's the garage door that leads into her kitchen, and she's like, hi, Kia, nice to meet you, blah, blah, blah. But like I said, when I first met her, she wasn't looking me like directly in my eyes. She was like, had her head down, and she had a tissue, and she had on dark glasses, and she wasn't looking me in my eyes. So I didn't find it strange. I just said she looked sad, because I really care about people, right? And so I walk in, and she's like, you want some water? So she gives me a water. And I take the water from her, and I just start drinking the bottled water. And she's standing in the kitchen area, and she said, okay, so what I need for you to do basically is I need for you to take me out today. I don't have my license right now, and I'm trying to get that taken care of. So I need you to take me to the courthouse and all these other places. So I want you to drive me around today to run some errands. I said, okay. She said, I'm going to get dressed. So you can wait for me right here, and I'll get dressed. I said, okay. So she didn't know me at the time, so she didn't know what to tell me. I didn't know how much money she had or anything. I just was there to give her love, like they said. I did not know that it was going to turn into me loving her as like my own sister or my own big sister. And we became very, very close, but I'll get there. And so that first initial day, she got dressed. She comes downstairs, because this is a big mansion, so she's like far off, right? I don't know what the rest of the house looks like. I stay in the kitchen area that has like a little seating place. I don't move. And she comes down, I didn't snoop around or nothing. And she comes down and she's like, okay, she's ready to go. But she's dressed to the nine when she comes down. Chanel bag, Chanel glasses. But she got this like white powdery makeup on her face. She looked like Michael Jackson a little bit. And she kept her shades on. I hadn't seen her eyes yet. And so she's like, all right, let's go. And so I'm thinking I'm gonna drive my car. She's like, no. And she gives me the keys to her car. And I'm like, let's ride. So I'm feeling all rich already. I ain't even know nothing about that, right? And so we get in the car and I start driving. And she said, I want you to take me to the courthouse. She's trying to get her license back. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's going on. I don't know nothing. She still hasn't opened up to me, but she's still sitting there. She's very sad. And you would think, you know, being in a big, beautiful mansion like this and this beautiful car and all these designer things around her, I just never imagined somebody could be sad like that. I didn't have any idea of what was really going on. And I really didn't know how much money she really had. It was just like, I was there just to do my job and get my little money so I could go back to school and, you know, do my thing that I needed to do. So we get in the car, we're driving. She starts talking to me, you know, just like asking me about myself. And I'm like a little mini interview about my life. I'm telling them I'm a single parent, I'm in school, how old my son is, where I live, that kind of thing, where I'm from. So she was really kind of interviewing me on the way. And I guess she was kind of feeling me out, you know, before she would really get into it and tell me everything that was going on with her, which was a lot. But I didn't know it at the time. So that's the first part of meeting her. And I'm going to get on to the rest. But I'm going to have to come back with part 2. See you then.